Maria. I come from Romania and I am 30 years old.
Hello, Mr. Ruffalo. My name is Shupin. I came from China. I'm 11 years old.
Hello, Mr. Ruffalo. My name is Elijan. I come from Greece. I'm 15 years old.
Again.
Hello, Mr. Ruffalo. My name is Joe. I came from Portugal and I'm 11 years old.
Hello, Mr. Ruffalo. I'm Z. I come from China. I'm 14 years old.
Hi, Mr. Ruffalo. My name is Cedric. I'm 30 years old. And I come from Italy.
I'm Mr. Ruffalo, and I come from the United States, and I'm 47.
Why did you start water defense? To inspire you?
Well, I started water defense to protect water. My inspiration really came from the communities that I was visiting who were fighting these things and having their water contaminated, and who were reaching out to me and asking for some kind of help.
Okay. What is the main aim of water defense?
The main aim of water defense is to protect water. First and foremost is by knowing what's in our water. We can't really protect our water until we know what's in it. We know what's in it before contamination, and then to know what's in it after contamination. Know what the pollutants are that are in the water, so that we can find who the polluters are and hold them accountable.
Why are you interested in the water problem?
Well, you know, all life on this planet needs water. It's the one essential element that all living organisms on this planet need. And so it's something that's very precious to us, but also something that we take for granted, because we turn on our taps and water comes rushing out of them. But I thought it was important in this time, especially as climate change progresses, that we understand how important our water is. Today, more and more of our water is becoming polluted with more and more industrialization. Well, at the same time, water is becoming more and more scarce.
How many places in America are affected by fracking?
Right now, out of the 52 states in America, 38 of them have some form of hydrofracking or some part of the hydrofracking industry in their states.
What do we do to reduce the effect of toxic water?
Good question. So, there's filtration that you do after water contaminated. There's certain ways of cleaning up water after it's contaminated. But the best way of dealing with water contamination is to stop it before it can happen. And the way to do that is to really keep an eye on industries.
If your house water is safe for drinking, how did you know?
So I use a filtration system, a secondary filtration system on my tap water, on my drinking water. Because in New York, we don't know if our water is safe to drink coming out of our taps.
How do you promote water defense?
You know, most of the promotion that happens comes from going to the places where there's been contamination and dealing with it. And then we post that on social media. And sometimes we'll get some television coverage or magazines or newspapers. It's a wonderful way for community organizing and for non-for-profit type charities that are doing this kind of work to get these stories out.
What would you like to see happening around the world right now?
Good question. Most of these kinds of issues would be taken care of by shifting as quickly as possible away from fossil fuels and to renewable energy sources. We could literally power the world with wind, water, and sunlight for all purposes with the technology that we have available to us today. But more than anything else, I would say what the world needs now is love. I think we need a whole different way of looking at the world. One that, and you guys, young people, you feel this better than anyone. You guys see the wholeness of the world. You see the problems. It's hard for you to understand why someone would kill children or bomb each other or destroy their natural environment around them. It's hard for you guys to understand that because you still have inside of you this love that your parents have showered you with, that the world gives to you. And so it would be really beneficial for the adults of the world to shift their thinking away from themselves and to a thinking of the whole. That we're all in this together, that what I do to my neighbor, I do to myself. And that kind of thinking and understanding that we could probably be just as happy with a lot less would really make a big difference in the world today, and would immediately start to remedy many of the problems that we see happen.
How can young people change the world in short term? Do you believe in us?
I do believe in you. I think you guys are a very special generation. You have an enormous amount of knowledge at your fingertips. There's never been a generation that has had so much knowledge available to them. And you're coming up in a world when almost anything you can imagine, you can make. It's a very special time to be a young person. And you have an enormous amount of control over your destinies and your futures in ways that many generations before you didn't. And so you can do things like create whole movements through social media. You guys can talk to the world and your world leaders in a way that no other generation has been able to do. You're able to spread information in a way that no other generation has been able to do. You're able to feel empowered because your voices can be heard in a way that no other generation has been able to do. And lastly, children teach their parents. And what you guys are learning, you are passing on to your parents and your grandparents, and you're literally changing the way they live. And so that's why it's so important that your education is current, it's up to date, it's based on science, and it's based on knowledge. And I have an enormous amount of faith in your power and in your minds and in your ability to affect the kind of changes and make the kind of world that you want to live in.
Why are you in the UK at the moment?
I'm making a movie here. I'm making did you see Now You See Me? I made Avengers 2. I was here last summer and I made Avengers 2 when you guys were still in school, I think. And this time I'm making a movie called Now You See Me, the second act, and it's a sequel to the first Now You See Me.
Is it finished?
What is your message for Prendergast Ladywell school students?
Well, I don't want to sound cheesy, but I think it's really important for you guys to love yourselves. It's probably the hardest thing to do, but there's nothing that will make you, I think, have a happier life than that. And I don't think there's anything you can do to change the world in a more profound way than to start inside of yourselves. And when I say love yourself, I don't mean be egoistic. I mean being gentle and kind and considerate and forgiving and careful with yourself, respectful to yourself. You know, it's kind of like it's kind of like the way your parents. Well, not all of our parents are like this, but it's the way we wish our parents were sometimes. Is that they see you and they say, no matter what you do, I'm always going to be here for you. I'm always going to believe in you. I'm never going to let you down or abandon you. And yeah, you're going to make mistakes, but you know what? I'll never stop loving you. And I think that's a really wonderful way to approach yourself. And I think that your life will be a beautiful, wonderful thing if you can approach it that way. That's the greatest piece of wisdom that I have to lay on you.
Grazie. Sì.
Obrigado.
Stop, Mr. Ruffalo.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that was great. You're great. I'd love to come see you sometime.
Thank you very much. Do you want
Blessings to you all. Have a great day and a great holiday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take